We've always had room in our hearts for film and TV, not just on Netflix, but tape and disc in theaters. Also, God forbid that they take it all away and leave us nothing to broadcast to loyal listeners. We'll binge watch every single movie, so you don't have to. What else are we here for? Coming to you every week. Listen to us while you're busy. Luckily, we forgot to grow up. Hey everybody, it's Craig.
Hey, it's Scott.
Hey, it's Andrew.
Welcome to episode number 27 of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast, a podcast where we talk about what we watched this week and other stuff. I'm usually not really aware of what we're talking about. What are we talking about this week again?
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. So we are talking about Harrison Ford. All right.
Indiana.
That's not the same thing at all.
Nope.
Not even a little bit.
I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to make any type of Stallone, Schwarzenegger, or anything reference today, so that was my Adrian turned into Indiana. It probably went over everyone's head.
I kind of... No, I didn't get it.
No.
I was like, is that Family Guy again?
Nope.
Is that Kroll Show?
No.
Did I miss that too?
No, not this time.
No, this time we're talking about Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, more specifically the first three, because as far as I'm concerned, the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull has one too many Shia LaBeoufs in it.
Come on, man.
That's a tagline for the movie.
One too many Shia LaBeoufs.
One too many Shia LaBeoufs.
And everyone's just like, huh.
Can we kill him off? Wait and see.
Off screen, in between the fourth and the fifth, if a fifth ever gets actually made, if Harrison Ford doesn't crash his plane, because he likes getting into plane shit sometimes. It's happened like 3 times in the last year.
It's because he thinks he's on the Falcon,
get off
man.
his plane.
Get off my plane.
This is going to turn into a Harrison Ford episode.
I told you
in
we were
general.
talking about Harrison Ford today.
But should we just talk about the Indiana Jones movies? Should I start with the first one, guys?
Yeah, let's just dive into this scruffy-looking nerf herder.
Okay, so Raiders of the Lost Ark. I remember when I first saw this, it was way back in the day, because obviously it came out before any of us were born.
Which was a Wednesday, by the way.
It was a Wednesday, for sure. It was the middle of the summer. I was on a porch. I don't know why it was a porch, but we were on a porch. There was a TV there.
Did you have some sweet tea?
We had some sweet tea, but
And
it's
your dog
Canada,
did.
so it was already sweetened. Because
was
why
tea.
would you have unsweetened tea? It doesn't make any sense to me. But I remember first watching this because this was one of my parents' very favorite movies, and like obviously I really liked the Star Wars when I first grew up. So check it, like being able to see Harrison Ford in both these like huge franchises was really cool when I was younger. And it's just I think they're very like kid friendly movies in the sense that they're a little like inappropriate sometimes, like not like super inappropriate, but like maybe a little bit mature.
They're not gratuitous with their inappropriateness.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah, that's a good way to put
over
it.
your head.
Exactly.
Remarks. Plus, you got to think of the times that it was done into, or
Yes.
where it takes place in.
Exactly.
It'll be in the 30s, so it's a little more of an appropriate era, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. And so, when I was a kid, it was enjoyable to watch because you like the main things you pick up on are the adventure, this cool guy with a cool hat and a whip.
The most badass person ever.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think he's probably one of the most badass characters in all the movies.
I'm gonna correct myself. Most badass human on the planet Earth.
Okay.
There we go.
So now you have to follow that up with the reason why you had to be that specific.
Well, there's other movies that take place off of Earth.
Okay.
Harrison Ford in Star Wars.
Okay.
He's not on
cool.
Earth. He's not from Earth that we know of.
Okay. That we know of.
We may find out in
know.
Solo.
Yeah, they mentioned in Solo his like home planet at some point.
Yeah.
I remember a trailer breakdown. That's not what we're talking about.
That's not what we're talking about.
No.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. I wrote down my favorite
one of the
scenes.
first movies that I remember too.
Yes.
Of all movies.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It definitely sticks out. Like it does have a very unique kind of like it's Indiana Jones. Like especially the Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's such a like iconic and unique film that it's like anything that ever happened after it was it's an Indiana Jones ripoff automatically because it just set the precedent for
Yep.
or precedence Precedent.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
And it set that for like adventure kind of archaeology type films. And I feel like the only franchise that after that maybe even got close was the Mummy with Brandon Fraser before the third one came out.
Those are some good movies.
They were good until,
Just be glad Shia LaBeouf isn't in it, okay?
That's true.
Yeah.
That is one
franchise killer.
bonus for that.
Turns out
franchise.
he's another one, like random kid that just kind of showed up for the sake of showing up. And then he comes into Tomb Raider somehow. And it turns out that he's related to all of them, and it brings the whole universe together. And then we kill ourselves because we can't handle that much Shia LaBeouf not in Transformers.
Burn down all the movie theaters.
Yeah, all of the movie theaters. Rioting happens. It would be justified though.
And he films it all and makes it into his new documentary series.
Yeah.
Yes, where he's just yelling at a camera
it.
and then clip, and then yelling at a camera, and then clip, and then yelling at a camera. In
I
10
go in
second
pyramids. And you're like, whoa, Shia, what are you doing, man?
Although Shia is definitely going to be a central topic of this episode
we
as well.
we kind
We
of
might
shy
not even talk
away
about that movie.
from this. Like shied away, but it was Shia.
He's not even in the first movie. All right,
No, he's not.
So I'm going to list off what some of my favorite scenes so that we can make comments about those as well.
Let's do this shit.
All right.
All right,
I'm
so
ready
my
to go off on tangents.
So you guys know what my first one is because I mentioned it before. It's the street fight scene in Cairo. And so in this scene we see at one point he's fighting a bunch of different like henchmen of some kind. But one of them's got like double swords and he gets all like swordy
Super
stuff.
crazy.
And then Indiana Jones just like drops like the sword or whatever he had in his hand, takes out his pistol and shoots the guy. And that's just my favorite moment in all of movies ever because it's just awesome.
Yeah.
And it's such
Why beat around the bush? He's like,
Exactly.
oh, I have a gun.
why
Bang.
do we need to make this
Such
silly?
a look of disappointment on his face.
It's such a oh really like.
I love the turnaround at the end too, where he's not even thinking about the fact he just killed a guy. He's turning around like, now where the hell do I go?
Yeah. Yeah, he has no concern with that whatsoever in any of these movies. He kills a lot of people.
There is a lot of murder.
Yeah.
One of my favorite fight scenes from that movie is when he's beating or getting in the fight with the big buff German guy.
Oh, that's the airplane scene.
Yeah, the airplane
the
scene.
airplane.
And like right from the get-go in that scene, you're like, yo, I hope he gets pushed into the propeller of that plane.
You knew it's happening as soon as that plane gets started.
And then they accidentally turn the plane on, and it starts to move, and you're like, oh man, maybe it's gonna happen.
Is it gonna happen?
Is it gonna happen?
It's gotta happen.
And then you see the splatter. And it
It's
happens.
over everybody.
Everybody.
That's my favorite thing is they just shot at everybody. They're like, we're gonna do this. You get blood on you guys.
Yeah, you guys are gonna get covered. We're making it legit.
Yeah, that was I love that scene too. That's actually like the third one on. No, that's the next one I had on my list.
There we go.
And then I had I wrote down the warehouse at the end. Oh, so at the end you see the Ark getting packed up into a crate, right? And then it gets shipped off to some warehouse. And I just thought the idea of that warehouse being cool. I like the Easter egg in a sense, way back in the day.
Yeah, I love that scene gets ripped off so often.
Yeah,
like they do it in Family Guy, which is a direct rip off, and they make they're making a reference to it. But they also do it in Fantastic Four.
That's true.
At the end of that, where they pack up Doctor Doom and they're sending him away.
There's at least like 3 Marvel movies that end that way, I swear, with villains.
But it's so good. It's kind of like, oh, well, maybe this is going to come back. Who knows?
And it does.
It does?
It does in Crystal Skull.
It does, yes.
That's the warehouse.
But we're not talking about that movie.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet. But some of the other things I really liked about Raiders of the Lost Ark was I liked the recurring snakes. I like that they gave him they picked a fear to give him that could be easy to
Why
reoccur.
does it have to be snakes?
I agree with that.
Why does it have to be elderly potheads?
That's a throwback in case anybody doesn't listen to all our episodes.
Yep.
But yeah, like I think that movie encouraged my fear of snakes when I was younger. That and the story I've told before with the water snake.
The water snake.
Yeah.
What was that? That was last week's episode.
That was probably last week. Again, another throwback. People, you gotta listen to every episode.
Listen to all of us.
It's continuity. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll be completely lost.
This is the Forgot to Grow Up universe, guys.
It's true. But I like that they had Nazis as bad guys. It's cliche, but I really like Indiana Jones going up against Nazis.
That was one of the things that when I heard that they were talking about possibly rebooting it, that's the thing that kind of spooked me the most. Because, I mean, I know a lot of the young kids nowadays who just don't give a shit about anything historically.
That's true.
So I was like, if they redo it, I don't think kids are going to grasp that it took place, like, around Nazi time.
Yeah, that's like, fair. That's
what are they going to do? Like, remake it
or like, why the Nazis are so concerned with collecting all of these things.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of concerned me. And truthfully, I just don't want to see like it's got to be Harrison Ford. You can't have another Indiana Jones. Like you just can't.
Too. I'm usually in favor of not making sequels, so I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah. This is something that you can't reboot.
Yeah,
just like the TV show Reboot. Just let it be.
Let it be. But
oh, no, you go.
Oh, we all said "but" at the exact same time. But anyways, the last thing I had just for Raiders of the Lost Ark was I like that he saves the day without it being some kind of like bad guy, good guy fight, like fist fight or anything. It was
literally he just got lucky.
He did get lucky.
He's like, yo, just don't open your eyes.
Don't open your eyes.
Don't look, Marion.
And that's how he saved the day. That's how the Nazis defeated themselves. And I just kind of like that kind of like that he's kind of the hero, but he also didn't really do anything. And
he was willing to blow the Ark up just so that she could get away. With a rocket launcher, which is badass.
Yes.
I don't know where he learned how to use a rocket launcher, but
he doesn't know how to fly a plane. But he knows how to use a rocket launcher.
That's
which
true.
I find ironic that he doesn't know how to fly a plane in the Indiana Jones movies. But in real life, he knows how to fly a plane.
Knows how to crash them too, like you mentioned.
Yes. Well, I don't think he's crashed it yet. He's just almost crashed.
I'm close.
We just gotta give him credit. He hasn't crashed yet. He's gotten dangerously close.
Probably just too baked to be up in the sky.
We can't speak to that. These are just all allegations.
I stand by it. But my favorite thing is, well, my top two things. One is I like that like 4 minutes into the movie you see him use the whip.
Yeah.
And they prominently display him like pulling it out. And
yeah, just like,
oh, what?
They focus on that. You're like, oh, what's that?
I remember when I was a kid. Man, I can't remember how old I would have been. I was a kid, that's for damn sure.
Yep.
But I
sometime between childhood and adolescence.
Yeah, like literally, I was probably like 10 or 11 the first time I watched it. No, I definitely would have been at least 11, because going to my second thing, before I get to my first, Alfred Molina's in it, the guy who plays Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2, and I remember watching that one first, and then when I watched Indiana Jones, I was like, yo, is that
the guy?
Is that Doc Ock? Is that really Alfred Molina? What's going on? Huh? And then it turned out it was. So going back to my first thing.
Yes.
First thing is the whip. I was so psyched.
Yes.
So psyched. But yeah, Doc Ock is in it, and I don't even know if that was his first role or anything in a major motion picture. He did very little for the plot. But
he's in it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, but it was awesome.
But he gets his just desserts because tries to leave India.
No, you can't do
his
that.
Whip. You can't take
after he knocked all those goddamn spiders off of him. Come on, man.
Come on, that's not cool.
Come on, son. But man, that movie has so many scenes that are referenced in Family Guy. Now that I think about it, the plane scene, right at the beginning where he's getting chased by the natives, and then he gets on the plane and leaves. They do that one in the episode where Chris goes to somewhere in like South Africa or something. He goes somewhere to join the Peace Corps because he's getting bullied at school.
Yes.
Okay.
The episode where he sings Jitterbug. When they leave, they hop on the plane, but Meg gets shot in the back by all the blow darts, and Meg dies.
Oh.
They rip off the very end scene when they're pushing the crate down, but they use James Woods instead. I'm pretty sure it's James Woods.
You would know better than I would.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. I'm pretty sure it's James Woods. And there was a couple more I thought of earlier, but I am drawing a blank now. I'm sure they'll hit me once we move on to the next movie.
Yes. Should I tell you guys my favorite things about the next movie, or should we let Craig say something?
Yes,
about
I was waiting to hear what Craig's favorite is.
I've already kind of chimed in a little bit.
Just say one thing that's your favorite thing about the first movie.
One thing that's my favorite thing about the first movie.
Is it the fact that the woman can drink more alcohol than I can even think about drinking?
Yeah, just looking at that, I was
anytime you think about drinking alcohol, you break out in hives.
Yeah.
So
that's why we got Benadryl stocked up in this house, man.
That doesn't take much to get you to not to think about drinking. Like, I can drink more alcohol than you think about drinking.
That's true. It may take you a day or two, but you can drink it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll get to the bottom of that beer when it's boiled. No, okay, so now I'm gonna try to see if I can remember, because I think I'm the only one who didn't watch any of the movies in preparation for this.
Crush it.
Raiders is the one where he has to go to like the mini model of the city with the staff with the glass on the end of it to pinpoint the location, right? Yeah,
yes.
That's the one that jumps out to me the most. The two things I remember about this movie,
he has to go in the pyramid. He has to hold it up to.
Yeah, exactly. The two things I remember most about this movie from like when I was tiny are the snake pit and that.
Right on.
And yeah, and then the face melting scene at the end.
Oh yeah,
I love that. That's a good one. That's a good call. Yeah, the Nazi getting his face melted off at the end. I just, to this day, I could actually just close my eyes and watch that, because it's such a like.
Well, it goes hand in hand with the other one of my favorite scenes, but it's from a later movie, so we'll go there later.
Okay. So we'll move on to the next one then.
Anyone who knows the films knows what I'm talking about.
I think I have a bad idea. Anyways,
on we go.
Temple of Doom. What some people consider one of the not great ones of the original three. I really like this one. Some people say that.
Who thinks it's not? Like,
I've heard things. I'm just telling you.
Scene?
I'm saying if certain people rate it, this is the third one, and then the fourth one would be Crystal Skull. But we don't talk about Crystal Skull.
The one thing that disappoints me is just the fact that it takes place a year before Raiders of the Lost Ark happens. I don't like it when movies do something and then go back in time and then do it. Like, that's the one thing I hate about the Da Vinci Code series. Is that it was the Da Vinci Code, and then it goes back in time to Angels and Demons, and then it skips forwards before the first or after the first one takes place. That's too much timeline jumping. This isn't The Flash. I can't do it.
That's fair. I never think about that part. Most people just don't like the representation of India. Because they've got Indian people eating frozen monkey brains. And
yeah, that's true.
That's a really good scene, though. And then they cut the snake open, little baby snakes come out. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, no, I hate that part. Still messes with me. I think that's why I have such a limited palate. Like, those are eels. Anything that just slithers, just no. Does that snake motion? No, don't like those things. But I really like the opening scene in this. You start off in the club, and he, he's trying to trade for a diamond, the ashes of some ancient dude for a diamond. Then he ends up getting poisoned, and he forgets the diamond. That's the one problem I had with the beginning scene. I'm like, you left empty-handed, Indiana Jones. You came in, you got poisoned, and you left.
And you need to take the dime with you at least.
Yeah, just take something with you. Just anything. Like, come on. Like, Indy, and the fact that they also don't realize that they get on the wrong plane, which is another thing I have a slight problem with. Why did the pilots jump off the plane? Why didn't they just shoot them or strangle them? Like, if the point is to kill Indiana Jones and his two, what's it called? Like, companions who are sleeping on the plane when the two pilots jump out of the plane at the beginning of it, why didn't they just shoot them
or throw them off the plane
or throw them off the
plot devices.
I agree. I know. I agree.
It would have been better off driving somewhere, like have them fall asleep in the backseat of a bus and then like jump off the bus. It would have been better off than
that. Would have made a little more sense. Yeah, like something just them the
plane. Now that you mention it, does,
and just like hoping that they don't know how to land the plane, like. Just, shot him back. I assume Indiana Jones doesn't know how to fly a plane. Like, he doesn't.
Clearly, someone was around in the first one who had heard or seen what was going on.
But this one takes a year before.
But it goes.
That's true.
Yeah, then it goes back in time.
Clearly, the Flash is involved, man.
Yeah, are
that explains it all.
Time travel?
Flash and Zoom.
That's what it is.
Yeah. But what else I liked about this? I like that he saves a village in this. Like, it's not that he's just on like a quest to find something necessarily. It's that part of the finding something actually involves him saving a village and whatnot.
Not just the girl.
Not just the girl, which he does anyways. But you know, we don't hate on James Bond for saving the girl.
Yeah, but that's because James Bond does all the girls. All of the girls.
Indiana Jones tries, he just gets interrupted.
That's true. Friggin' short rounds there being super awkward.
There was there's a 5-minute scene in Temple of Doom where him and the chick are like bickering back and forth about who's gonna come to whose room and who's gonna concede to the other one, and then he gets strangled by some like assassin dude. So it's like, okay, he just has no luck.
He needs to stop being
zero
bullheaded.
luck.
He just needed to walk down the hallway. Come on, man. Quit thinking with this head for once.
That's not indie.
That's not indie.
What else do I have though? I just like the plot, and then again, he doesn't win it by like a fist fight again. How does this one end actually? I just watched it and I'm blanking now how exactly it ends.
It kind of does.
There's a chase. There's the chase on like the railway cars, right?
Yeah, there's the
mine
cars,
and then they kind of fall off that cliff, don't they? Into like the alligator pit.
There's the bridge, and they're on the bridge in the middle, and then he cuts the bridge in half.
Oh,
and a bunch
right.
of people fall into the alligator pit, but then he's stuck struggling against the leader of the. We'll go with cult. That's the best way I'm going to describe it right
now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, Scott, we just watched this movie. Craig.
Yeah, I know. This is terrible.
Knows.
In our defense, we watched 4 of them in like
That's true.
2 days.
They're all one movie.
They really are.
It's been a couple months, but I did see it recently, so it's not like it's been years. Yeah,
That's
and
true.
then he's struggling, and he's like, like he's gonna have his heart ripped out.
Kalima.
And then he ends up kicking him down into the he falls into the alligator pit, and then he climbs up, and that's the end of it.
So it is kind of a fight. I got this one mixed up with the other one's ending then, because the other one's not a fight. But anyways, I do like that he's not like, it's not like a crazy like an Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of fight though. You know what I mean? Where it's like 5 minutes of just back and forth fist punching, and it's more just like a struggle between two people that you're like, yeah, like one of them's definitely gonna fall, one of them's got a magic hand, he's gonna take someone's heart out. It's realistic. I get it.
It's realistic.
I understand. I could take someone's heart out. You don't know me.
You don't know me.
I have secrets.
You guys don't know what to do when I'm not podcasting. I don't record every hour of my day.
I know damn well it's not pulling people's hearts out.
Well, it's frowned upon here in Canada.
Literally.
You may be breaking hearts or pulling on heartstrings, but you're not ripping them out of the chest.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I wanted that put at the end. Allegedly.
Keep some of that badass, eh?
But that's all I had for Temple of Doom, because I screwed up the ending.
The boulder scene has got to be one of the most iconic scenes in the history of all action movies.
It's from Raiders.
Yeah.
Damn, it is. God damn it.
I can't believe it. I don't know why I didn't write that down as my favorite.
God damn it. That's my favorite scene of all of them. I don't know why I thought it was Temple of Doom.
And you forgot about that one already.
God damn.
It's funny because you mentioned this scene had happened too, because what's his name?
Yeah. Well, okay, so now that
Doc Ock died 3 seconds before that.
Does. Yeah, I don't know why. You know what? I think it's in the railway car scene in Temple of
It's water in Temple of Doom. Like when they're taking the mine cars, part of the problem
mine
is
cars,
they
that's
knock
what
they knock the water, like the water tower over, and it
they
fills
get
up, and
chased
then
by
they get
water.
to the very end.
I think
and they're
those
standing
scenes,
out on the side, and the water's gushing out of the side of the cave. Yeah, I remember this movie pretty well.
I think those scenes merged together in my mind. Like they had to hop into the cars to get away because the boulder was chasing them. Like that's what I can see.
No, he just runs out of the. He just runs out of the cave with the boulder, but before that, he's got to do the whole thing where he goes to the right steps and doesn't get hit in the face with the dart or cut in half, and then change the weight of the
with the sand that he grabbed at the beginning, and he fucked up that. Clearly, he's not a mathematician.
Yep.
Archaeology.
Yeah.
It's not a science.
Not a science.
Anyway, no archaeologists.
Yeah, where are we?
We are on to The Last
We
Crusade.
hope not. Wait, we did. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I think I'm good with.
Yeah,
I
forgot your favorite
one last
part.
thing I was going to add about the Temple of Doom, because I know this one is Temple of Doom, is that Kali Ma heart rip scene. That gets ripped off a lot too, especially in Family Guy. Because they have like at least 3 I can think of. They have the one with the CEO of Disney, who does it when Peter and Stewie are at the park. The episode where they buddy up and then they go through It's a Small World.
Yes.
And they escape. And then Meg learns that the episode where Jesus is involved with the Griffin family, and they do a Passover Seder instead of Easter dinner. And then Meg cuts off Stewie while he's doing his reading or whatever, so he rips out Meg's heart. And then she says, Anam Shivai, Anam Shivai, Anam Shivai. I don't know why I remember what she says, but I remember that, and I can't remember which fucking movie the boulder scene's from.
The one thing I didn't like about Temple of Doom was the whole voodoo arc.
Yeah.
Like, I could have done without that slight crutch where Indy's getting stabbed in the back while he's trying to fight.
Yeah,
it adds a little bit of suspense
fair
to it, but like I would much rather just have watched another 2.5 minutes of the mine car scene where they're trying to steer without a handle and stop without a brake and not die.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel that.
I feel like they just wanted more of a supernatural element of some kind. But I agree, they used it as a crutch a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, it feels completely useless to me, but
yeah, I agree, because I just completely, like, I know what scene you're talking about now, and I'm just like, yeah, I kind of phased out during that scene. It's just,
well, all it does is give Short Round a reason to be around in the first place.
Yeah, to kind of, and like to fight another kid, because
yeah, he needs to go fight the other kid, because otherwise he's fighting nobody. He's just kind of running around yelling, and then like, he'd be even more insufferable than he is already.
Which, in the end, they just have him and the kid make up anyways, and I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah, they're friends at the end.
It's just like, okay. This was definitely a kid's movie.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's the one my brother just watched. He's 11 now, and he's just watched all of them, and I think that's his favorite, which doesn't surprise me.
Because he's a kid. He associates himself with Short Round.
Well, yeah, that one's probably the easiest one to get through if you're a kid, because you don't have to have any knowledge of anything religious whatsoever.
It's very like kind of
Temple of Doom,
like fantasy.
Fantasy?
No, that's like
fantastic.
No, back to fantasy, but like more of a descriptive word of fantasy. Anyways, it's just more of like, it's easier for kids to imagine themselves in that one because it's not as complicated with like the like religious history and stuff like that that's associated with it. It's more of a like, it's almost like a kid's cartoon come to life, because like the bad guys are like really cartoon-esque,
over the fucking top,
campy-esque too. Yeah, so it's like, that's a little easier for
with more
younger
of a personal,
kids.
A personal reason to be doing it, as opposed to like Raiders, where it's the Nazis trying to get it for a bigger purpose.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a little bit more like, I can connect more with it. I could see that. Yeah. But should we talk about my favorite of the 3?
I was gonna say that leads us to probably my favorite.
I love The Last Crusade. Andrew, is this your favorite one, or?
I gotta say it is. I gotta say it is. I love that they yanked Sean Connery out to bring him in as the dad.
He's the best dad.
Because they're both like the smarmiest people.
They really are. They play so well together too, because they're both just like, they just both have that like kind of gruff stubbornness to them, and they're just.
Between the two of them, I feel like neither of them they weren't meant to be actors. Like, they never even auditioned. They just happened to be there at every set, and they gave someone some attitude, and they're like, here's money. And they gave them money, and they're like, well, shit, you just gave me money, so now I feel like I have to do something. Okay.
It's an obligation every time they do a job.
Like literally every Indiana Jones, like any movie with Harrison Ford, I feel like he just ad-libs everything. Like you go over to Star Wars where where Leia tells him I love you, and he's like, I know.
Yeah.
Like, that just feels like something where he's like, fuck, I know. I'm Harrison Ford, man. Like,
I know you.
I'm not even supposed to be here.
Well, that's partially true that he does ad-lib a little bit because, like, I know in Star Wars he was allowed to ad-lib because he's famously said, you can write this crap, but you can't say it. And he said that to George Lucas, and, George Lucas gave him permission to rewrite some of his Han Solo lines. So the fact that this is also a George Lucas-ish film, I feel like maybe he had those same liberties again to be as Harrison Ford as he liked to take on the character of Indiana Jones.
Then we get to the point where he throws someone off his plane. Get off my plane. It's too corny. It had to have been ad-libbed. Had to have been.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one.
How many times are we going to make that reference in,
when you throw someone off a plane, like, you don't have to say anything. Like, watching it, you're like, okay, you just threw someone off a plane. Okay.
Yeah, but have you ever been the president throwing somebody off your plane?
You kick him off the plane then.
Say, this is my plane? This is my plane! Ah! There might have been legal issues with that eventually.
Yeah, probably. He doesn't own it. It belongs to the country.
That's fair. But anyways. Last Crusade.
We've gotten really far off track.
There we go. Back. Last Crusade.
I love that it starts off with we see a young Indiana Jones adventure. Like, we see him as a young kid, being, typical indie kind of thing. And I like that they went there, that they just they experimented with it a little bit, show us a little flashback. We see the dynamic with him and his father a little bit, and then they flash forward to him still trying to get that exact same relic again. You could you learn a little bit more about his stubbornness in this one, that he's just he's held this grudge since he was a teenager to get that one artifact back so that he could take it to a museum and get paid for it.
He's trying to be independent.
I
stand by that pun.
Ha!
Yes.
That's more appropriate.
Aha!
Ha!
Thanks, ostrich.
Yeah, that's the ostrich.
I got it.
This podcast has been recorded in front of a live ostrich.
Ha-ha.
Ha-ha.
Anywho, I also liked. I didn't know how to get away from that, guys. I really didn't. I didn't know what to do with it. You guys didn't say anything.
Back and forth for a couple more minutes. Yeah.
I was gonna go to the one where they talk about the WNBA. Like, is it worth getting paid such little money and being so ugly? That's for the fan to decide. And it's like one guy, yay!
Oh God, you guys' references always confuse me so much.
Those are both Family Guy.
I figure I just don't watch Family Guy enough.
There's been like 2 John Mulaney references, and the rest have been Family Guy.
Yeah, that's fair. I can usually pick up
secrets. I heard that one earlier, Craig. I didn't react as well, but I heard you say it.
Yes, I know.
The Last Crusade.
Yep.
Back on track once more.
Yes. The last time trying to do it.
Yes. I really love that they, brought in the Holy Grail mythology. I like any movie that does a Holy Grail story because I don't know why. I've always just found that one fascinating. And then I like the father-son adventure that they go on for like half the film and they're bickering back and forth, but they grow closer as a pair, and we learn that Indiana Jones is named after a dog.
That he favored very much.
She favored very much. But yeah, what else did I like about this? I wrote one more thing. Oh, this is the one. This is the thing this is another one that has an ending where he doesn't have to fight. This is the other one. Not Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom, he had to punch somebody. This one isn't like a big old fight again. He doesn't even do anything actually. The guy goes drinks the red cup. Yeah.
Shell games
you
himself.
chose poorly.
And then the chick who, saw which cup to choose and heard what the old knight said, decided to ignore what he said about don't take it out of the freaking place. She tries to leave with it, brings the whole house down.
Dizzy bitch.
Bitches be crazy. Indiana Jones. I want to put that little asterisk at the end.
Yes.
Just in case.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And the Nazis were back. That's the other thing I wrote down for The Last Crusade. They brought back the Nazis for them to be the enemies too.
Yeah.
Again, I just like that as a kind of theme with Indiana Jones. To me, it always feels like he's supposed to be fighting the Nazis because, like, I've always kind of known that, you know, Hitler had a kind of secret kind of like he did like the occult a little bit, and I always like when movies kind of like decide to like blow that like up, like in Hellboy had a similar thing. Like they took that little tidbit of like, oh, maybe Hitler once read a book that was magic. And
Scott, did you say Timbit again? Just before
he did.
I always do.
That is a long away callback.
Yeah, that's like episode 3 callback.
Yep. It's pretty darn close.
I've never said tidbit.
There we go. You said it right there.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't feel natural to me. I always just say timbit because it makes sense to me. It's a little nugget of something you get.
Yeah,
it's a little nugget of something
the donut
bigger.
Hole. It's the middle.
For our non-Canadian listeners, those are donut holes.
Donut holes.
Yeah, made by Tim
Which
Hortons.
is a far more logical name for them. Well, kind of.
Timbits?
No,
Timbits is better.
Timbits is better because of Tim Hortons, but I mean, a donut hole is a logical name for a Timbit.
Because it's literally they make a hockey puck and then they cut the middle out, and then they roll it into a ball, and then boom, now you have a donut hole.
Yep.
Timbit.
Courtesy of a former Tim Hortons employee. Anyways, what did you guys like about The Last Crusade since I ran out of things that I wrote down?
You want to take this one first, Craig?
Sure. I like the boat scene in oh man, where were they? Alexandria? Is that where that is? No, it's got to be in Venice. That makes more sense. It doesn't matter. It's in a city. There are canals and a library.
Boopy. That was another Family Guy reference. Just so
I was gonna make another one, but I like to think that we might have international listeners.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
That's 2.
There's a couple.
I wasn't gonna go with my next line. Yeah. So I like that, and I like the entire scene at the end with the whole he's got to think about how to get in, which is kind of a throwback to the to why can't I remember Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Raiders, yeah.
Yeah, him having to solve the puzzle to get into it.
Yeah, he's got to solve the puzzle.
Trucks.
Except it's a little bit different. It requires a little.
I felt the first one was way too easy. Like the first task, I'm just like, I'm looking at that as a young child. I'm like, yeah, you don't step on the dark parts. Like, who thought this was a good idea? Like what? Who's the guy who's like, yo, guys, we're gonna identify every place where you can't step with a big black dot. That's just dumb. Yep. Why would you leave
that's
space
just poor architecture
in between the things? It's just it's poor booby trap preparation.
Ted Mosby would be very disappointed.
Yes, he would.
Yeah, and then there's the whole with the Last Crusade, there's the whole learning how to spell in a different language, because he's got to figure out that he's actually supposed to be in Latin, because there's a lot of thinking involved in the puzzle.
Yeah, I like that.
You would hope so.
Right from the very, very beginning, I like the suspense with is it the first puzzle with the Breath of God where he's got to hit?
That's the second puzzle.
He's got to hit his knees. Yeah, I like the suspense with that, because when he figures it out, he yells and hits his knees. I like that bit too. And then,
oh no, that was the first one. You're right.
Yeah, I was gonna say Breath of God. I'm pretty sure was because everybody was getting to the Breath of God and then
getting cut. Yeah.
No, and then the second one's where he's got to spell Yahweh, but he tries to do it in English or in Aramaic, and remembers he's supposed to do it in Latin. Yeah, because it was it was the time that the whole thing was built. Yeah, those are the only 2 puzzles I remember.
Yeah, no, I like the little.
You got to figure out which one's the right cup.
Yeah, so I really like that too. That it's like, oh, he wouldn't have had a fancy cup. He was just a little. He was a.
Yeah, he was just a guy.
Yeah,
he was humble.
Exactly. He wouldn't have had a really fancy bejeweled cup, and I really like the fact that you learn a little something about the fact that clearly the first guy didn't know it, like the Nazi guy didn't know anything about the Holy Grail or about Jesus. Really, he just knew about he knew about the treasure part of it. He didn't know about any of the substance that came to.
Yeah. The thing I don't like about that is that he just goes to a random cup and goes, "Oh my gosh, it's so much nicer than I thought it was going to be."
That's true. None of the cups looked significantly nicer than the rest.
You didn't give it any thought, you idiot.
It was like cups.
He doesn't even pick a cup. Actually, the Blancha cans it to him. So it's not he doesn't even choose himself. He just trusts that she picked the right one. And then he's just like, oh, this is so beautiful. I don't know how I didn't see it. And he drinks from it and dies.
Maybe he was talking about the girl.
Not once does he question, like, how did you know that was the appropriate cup?
Not even for a second.
Okay, guys, let's be real. If a pretty girl gives you something, you're going to be happy about it, okay? Let's just...
Probably.
Not a death cup.
Real.
Not a cup that's 50-50 death.
I don't
care.
Face-melting cup.
Not a 50-50 death cup. You can't even be ambiguous about that. It's a 50-50 death cup. 50% chance you're going to die, 50% chance you're going to live forever in a fucking cave. Like, you can only live in the cave. Fair. You can't leave the cave. You got to keep drinking the goddamn water. That's not shit. It's just a... it's like an IV.
That's shit. Yeah.
I love this movie. I really do, though.
That's another scene that gets ripped off by everything else or referenced.
Yeah, for sure.
Family Guy, they do it where the guy's just got, I think it's a coffee mug or something like that says like Jesus on it or something like that. Like something real corny and obvious. Well, I just figured, the coffee cup that says Jesus.
That would make
sense. Oh, yeah.
But then Family Guy thing.
The How I Met Your Mother episode, I believe it's season 9, the last season, where they do it. And they have the blonde girl from Pitch Perfect being his date, the girl he kind of hooks up with at the wedding by accident, and he just feels so guilty he can't leave her, whose life is just falling apart, and his whole night is just making bad decisions, and they always use you chose poorly. I just love that. I wish like everyone had like an app on their cell phone that was like Jarvis or something, but it was just that guy just telling you how you make your life decisions.
You chose poorly. Yeah,
if you for instance, a Tinder commercial where a guy swipes left and then it's like you chose poorly.
You chose poorly. This is a man.
Eggs. or
huge protruding Adam's apple. You're just like constantly swiping. There we go.
Yeah, then you get a match, and then the voice comes in the background.
Yeah, you swiped poorly. And then it flash forwards to 30 years down the road, and this guy's life is just shit. He works at like a rental car company, but he's never moved up the ladder whatsoever. He's making his $26,000 a year, trying to feed 14 kids because he shacked up with this girl, and she just kept wanting the kids.
And he doesn't like condoms.
Yeah, and he doesn't like condoms.
He doesn't like condoms, which is a reference to before the episode.
And then he's in like some cover band of a band that just doesn't really deserve. He's in a Triumph cover band.
He's in a Crocus
called
cover
Concord.
Band. Come on, Triumph is at least better than that.
Yeah, but Triumph is the only band I can think of a clever band name like Triumph Concord. Like
a good cover
it's
band
similar.
Name, yeah.
What am I gonna do for Crocus? Cayman? Like
a blank poster.
Blank, just blank records. But like he plays in that, but the gigs are all crap, and like they always get booed off stage. And then every time he comes home, like his wife is just drunk and hits him with shit. Like this guy's life sucks. And then when he's
what's the moral of the story?
He chose poorly.
Yep. There it is.
I'm glad I actually set you up for that.
There we go. That was good. I honestly, I'd see that movie.
Of course you would. You wrote it.
That's true. I'd sponsor that shit.
Okay, but now you guys gotta tell me what your favorite parts about The Last Crusade are.
Well, I just told you my favorite part.
That's true.
You chose poorly.
Yeah, we got so distracted by the rest of it.
Face melting.
That, and then the fact that literally the whole movie, like the entire time that they're on screen together, it's just Indiana Jones and his dad just working together, but hating the fact they're working together.
Hate that they have to work together to get this job done. Like they'd both rather be doing this on their own.
Yeah,
but it requires them to work together. Yeah, but they have to spend time together. Yeah, I like that dynamic too.
Yeah, just the fact that like you can really see it on screen that they're like, fuck this guy again. Like we went our separate ways. I thought we were done. Dad, I was gonna see you at your funeral. Yeah. God damn it.
But then his dad gets shot and things get real emotional.
Real emotional.
That's true. It gets deep. They bond. It's good. It's good.
It does.
It's a good roller coaster ride of a movie. There's a reason these movies are, such classics. Like,
my emotions.
They give me all the feels.
All of the feels.
All the feels, because now we're millennials. There we go.
Yes,
Like that scene actually made, like I was gonna text you guys this. It made me emotional watching that scene. Like they're like, Papa's about to die, and he's just like, son, I'm proud of you or something. He says something that's sweet. And I'm just like, oh, don't let your dad die. Get through the booby trap. Save your dad. And he saves his dad.
Boobies save everything.
Except in Indiana Jones.
Except in Indiana Jones.
They cause a high number of casualties.
Yes.
What
There
is
was
the
a lot
season?
of
You
death.
mentioned
People
one
dying.
in the beginning.
That's true. That's very true.
But are we going to talk
Which,
about
now that we're gonna go back, well, no, before we go back to booby traps,
Yes.
whoever set up the booby trap with the gigantic rolling ball obviously didn't think much further than the first one, unless there's a lot more gigantic rolling balls just waiting to get tripped off. Like all these physical booby traps, they don't make any sense. They're a one-time
They're
setup.
yeah, that's true. I agree with
So
that.
all you got to do is send in except for obviously in the Last Crusade where it's resetting, because the Breath of God seems to do it really well.
Yes.
But after the first guy goes across, like once you get past that, after you try to go across the cavern, well, there's the leap of faith with the
invisible
with the pillar.
bridge.
Yeah, which is that one you don't have to do anything different with. But like the other one where the floor falls out, once one guy goes across that, you already know where all the letters are supposed to be.
Exactly. Yeah, it's true. It's just like, well, this is
Yep.
these are really well thought out.
Nope.
In their defense,
They look good at the time.
they're fun
yes.
to watch one person go through.
I'm
just
fine with that. It's not even a critique of the movie.
Yeah, no.
It's more of a critique on the people who would have designed these things.
No, I agree. I agree. I'm just thinking about who made that big ball way back in the day. Was there a dude who just made big giant boulders for booby
His
traps?
whole job was
you
to
have
like
the-
chip it out.
If you have the technology to make a perfectly smooth sphere, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, really. Maybe it's made out of vibranium, man. Maybe that's a
Maybe.
future thing.
Maybe.
Indiana
There's
Jones
your
is the
tie-in.
Soul Stone.
That would be it. That would be pretty awesome.
That would be
That would
awesome.
make no sense.
That doesn't matter.
It's technically plausible too because Disney owns Lucasfilms and Marvel.
I feel like that.
so they
I feel
could
like
easily
that's
do a
more
crossover.
plausible. That's more plausible than The Weeknd or Kendrick Lamar being the Soul Stone, like that one we ranted about on our Black Panther
I will agree with
episode.
that. Actually, I will 100% agree. Indiana Jones being the Soul Stone in the MCU is 100% more likely than Kendrick Lamar doing that. I'm going on the record. People, it's recorded right now. I'm going to the record stating that I 100% think it's more likely that Indiana Jones will show up in the MCU. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but it's more likely
How
than the Kendrick
great
Lamar
would it
theory.
be if Thanos is just kicking ass?
Kendrick
and
Lamar
then-
shows up.
You just
No, I was gonna say just Thanos is just beating ass, and then Tony's laying on the ground like just bruised up, wounded. He looks over at Cap, and Cap's like, "You got any more ideas in that big old head of yours, Stark?" And he's like, "One," and then just flies off, and then he lands at this apartment building, and he like sucks it back in, and he like the suit back into his body. Because it looks like he has like the extremis armor.
Yeah.
Goes into the apartment, knocks, and it like just automatically swings open. And there's just this chair, just a swivel chair sitting there
with a hat.
with a hat,
Yeah.
a hat and a whip, just
I
sitting
was
on the
just thinking
table
that a
beside
whip
it.
next to the chair.
And then he just spins around and he's like, "What do you want, Stark?" And you're like, "Oh, gasp!"
No, what this time, Stark?
Yeah, what do you need this time?
Just so that you had that little asterisk being
Yeah.
like, yeah, Indiana Jones has saved Iron Man's ass multiple times. And now
That's all I'd need. We don't even need him to be
in the
involved
movie.
beyond
Just
no,
that.
that's the
that.
end of the Infinity War. That's why we haven't gotten the name for the next one yet, because the next one's going to be Avengers
Crystal Skull.
No,
Revenge of the Crystal Skull.
It turns out that the Crystal Skull is like
The Soul
ship.
Stone. That's
Yeah, it
actually the
was-
Soul
that's
Stone.
That's the scroll. That's what it is. There we go. We just tied that shit together.
We just made our
Big,
own
nice bow.
Infinity War
You're
Soul
welcome,
Stone
Disney.
fan theory.
Exactly.
I 100% think none of that's going to happen.
no. But it would be awesome if it did.
I
would
can
honestly
dream,
love
man.
it. I would be fine with them like somehow tying Indiana Jones into the MCU because it is plausible. Nothing about Indiana Jones wouldn't fit into a superhero universe. It would actually make more sense if he was in the MCU because it would explain all the magic. and all the artifacts. It's like, oh, they're alien technology. Bam.
There we go. Boom.
The only problem that you'd have is getting Indiana Jones, who is a very
old
much
guy?
adult male in the 30s.
Yeah.
In, what we assume is present time.
You say that, but Captain America literally did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was cryogenically frozen, no?
No, he was just frozen in the Arctic. So we'll just throw Indiana Jones in a...
Yeah, it was just cold as shit, man.
And we could always easily pull, like, he went back to the Holy Grail and had... Or,
no,
when he drank the Holy Grail water, bam, expended his life.
Boom, that's the
So
elixir.
it reset him.
I
So
always
Philosopher's
wondered
Stone,
what
so
happened
to
with
speak.
that, because they left it alone. But, yeah, that makes sense. That could work.
Yeah, they don't really reference it in the Crystal Skull, do they?
it never gets talked about again. He drinks from the right cup.
He never even turns
he's
around. He's
told
like,
so.
man, I'm
Actually, they
been
did
told
clarify
that he chooses
the
wisely.
knight says that only works in the, like, you can only
that makes
you only live forever if you stay in the like the Holy Grail cave, whatever.
Yeah.
So like you can drink it and get healed, which is what they both do, right? Like, well, Indiana Jones just drinks it. There was nothing wrong with him. He just drank some to test it.
He just drinks it to test it.
Yeah, and then he
And then
heals
gives
his
it to his
dad.
dad.
Yeah, so his dad obviously isn't gonna like live forever once they both leave the place. It was just they were both healed by it because they were in there at the time.
That makes sense.
I think of it though as maybe they like reset their like timelines in a sense. So like the inside their bodies
So puts them
now
back
thinks
to,
that
like,
they're
20.
like that So that way he kind of lives on, and we can kind of stretch the timelines.
There we go.
Because Marvel's got a stretch timeline anyways. So
Here we go. The water is, or the Holy Grail water that he drinks, it gets into his blood, and then they use his blood to make the serum that goes to Cap.
I don't know if
It's
the
a
timing
stretch.
works. It's a stretch.
It's
I
a
don't know if the timing
stretch.
works on that, but it could. We'll go with it. Why not?
I mean, we might as well.
No, not at all.
We got-
because Cap
we've
is
gone
not at
so
all, 'cause
off
Cap
track
is
from-
older.
Yeah, I
That
was
doesn't
gonna
even
say.
make sense at all. I take it back. I stand by it, but I take
Yes,
it back.
I'm just trying. I'm trying to think of transition. I think we're done talking about the Last Crusade.
I think so.
I think
I
so.
think so. I think
Are
we
we-
firmly beat that dead horse.
Yes.
Yes.
Are we gonna skip the Crystal Skull, or we're gonna kind
I
of
think
talk
we
about
should
it?
talk about it briefly. I
Briefly.
like the ending.
I agree with that. I like the ending too. It's kind of an interesting.
When you say the ending, do you mean the wedding or you mean prior to the ending?
I like the the bit with the aliens.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was pretty sweet. Where it like rebuilds the.
Yeah.
And
the
I don't
ship
mind
around,
that.
yeah.
I don't
That
mind
part
that
I
the
like.
aliens were like that was part of like the thing. It's like why can't aliens be part of it? Like I like
Yeah.
that they went to that like kind of extreme. Like I don't love like parts of the movie. Like I like the idea of Shia LaBeouf's character. I'm gonna be honest. When it was first announced, I was excited. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of like interested. I was like, oh, this is back when Shia LaBeouf was the dude from Transformers, and then he did Indiana
Before
Jones.
He was the franchise killer.
Yeah, and then he killed it. Yeah, and I was just like, oh. So like I was pretty excited to see him, and because I was interested about that kind of character, I wanted to see Indiana Jones's kid, because I wanted to be Indiana Jones' kid. I still do. Harrison Ford adopted me. I'm 25.
Probably not gonna happen, man.
I can hope.
That's
can
true.
dream. Anyways, I forgot.
Myself personally, I didn't really mind Shia LaBeouf in it. Like I liked the kind of greaser, like attitude, from the 50s. I kind of liked that.
I liked
that
it
aspect
too.
brought in.
He took it to an 11 for me, and that's the part I didn't like. If he kept it at like an 8, it would have been cool. Which most of it he does. It's a couple times he takes it to that 11, and I'm like, oh, you're such a douche. Stop being such a douche.
See, I look at it as kind of like he resents the fact that his dad was never around. Granted, he doesn't really know why his dad's never around.
That's true.
But I take it as that attitude and that kind of rebellion. But then also like that 50s greaser thrown on top, because I just like that.
Yeah.
But the attitude, it still checks in with that Jones male line of lineage where you just have to be a fucking prick about everything.
That part I'll agree with. But the fact that he just dipped his comb in somebody else's soda, I'm just not on proof of that. Don't be touching my fucking soda with your hair, you goddamn asshole. That's my problem. That's where he lost me, really. Like, he made it 5 seconds in, dipped his hair into some soda, and I'm like, that's not what you use soda for. Bad Shia
They used to use everything for their hair. Motor oil, soda, literally everything they could put in their hair to slick it back, they would. That's the thing.
Just weird. I don't like it. I disapprove. Don't use my soda that way.
You disapprove of the era, or you disapprove of that?
I disapprove of using pop as a hair gel. That's what I disapprove of. Pop is meant to be drinked and consumed and rot your teeth. Okay? It's supposed to keep dentists employed, for God's sakes. Okay? That's
Maybe
what
it was meant to keep
for.
barbers employed.
That's fair. That's fair.
You put on your scalp, it eats away at your hair, and the hair starts to fall out, so you have to go get your hair cut more often to cover up the bald spot.
Touche, good sir. You would be far more of an expert on that topic than I would.
He chose poorly.
That's going to come up so many more times before the end of this episode.
Yeah.
So I mentioned some of the cool things that I enjoyed about this movie to stay on a positive note about. So I liked the prep versus greaser scene in the diner. I thought that was kind of fun. Reminded me a little bit of Grease. That's because that's the only other time I've seen greasers in anything.
You've never seen The Outsiders?
Outsiders. I was about to say that, then I'm like, were they greasers in Outsiders?
Yes.
All I remember is Pony Boy, to be honest, because I like that name. It's a cool nickname. Pony Boy.
It's such a douchey name.
It kind of is, but I kind of like it, like in that way, because, come on, what was my high school nickname? It was pretty douchey, okay? Let's be serious. I like douchey nicknames. They're funny.
Scotty Downtown?
No, it's Tryhard. Remember Tryhard?
No, it's always Scotty Downtown.
I don't even know how to come back from that. Next thing I liked was the warehouse scene. We see the warehouse from the end of the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I like that you get a little half-second glimpse of the Ark in this warehouse as they're leaving, and I like the idea because this was before comic books were getting the comic book movies were getting super huge, so it was cool to have an Easter egg in a movie that wasn't a superhero movie. Does that make sense? I love movie Easter eggs the most because I see movies the most. So I get when it's a direct movie
when it's
Easter
a
egg.
reference.
Yeah,
when it's inside itself.
When it's inside itself, especially.
Easter eggs. We've talked about Easter eggs and everything anything George Lucas was involved in.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, heavily Easter egg. Yes, which is probably why I love his movies so much. And
especially Howard the Duck.
Yes, especially Howard the Duck.
We're not going to go back to that.
Okay. Oh, I had one other problem with this movie. One other thing that kind of annoyed me, and that was Indiana Jones surviving a nuclear explosion.
Yes.
In a fridge.
It's a lead-lined fridge.
Yeah, no,
you have to remember that they were making them with lead in the 50s.
Yeah, lead protects from radiation. It doesn't protect from a nuclear explosion's force. It blew up a house. You're telling me fridge?
He goes.
Oh no! Physically, he should be hurt.
It should be even if the thing could stay together, the fact that he got shot so far and then hit the ground, that would turn into jelly.
Give him at least give him a separated clavicle at the very least.
The fact that he rolls out of it nothing.
Nothing hurts him.
That's true.
That's the part I like.
At that point, he had drank the
that's fair.
The magic juice.
That's true.
He is Captain America
at that
point. So
it's so far into his future. I didn't think of that. Yeah, that's true.
20 years later,
he just still survived. Just heals him right away. He's like Wolverine. He's a Wolverine now.
Yes, that's what it is.
But he still does grow older because it's not that he grows older. It's that it's his grumpiness protruding into his appearance.
That's what it is. It's oozing out of
exactly. It's just I have to look grumpy too now. I'm so grumpy.
See, for that scene you just described there, that was a checkpoint in my life where I was like, when was the last time I watched these? Because I totally forgot that they took place pre-World War II.
Yeah.
Where I totally forgot that because I was like, why the fuck is he in the where is he that he's in this 50s town that the fake mock town with the fridge and everything in it.
Yeah.
I was like, where is he? Where would there even be a museum like that? And then I was like, oh shit, never mind. This movie took place way back in the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then I had to go rewatch all of them. So it was kind of a nice kickstart, but for a minute I was like, what the fuck? This movie makes no sense. Why does he have easy access to a 50s fridge? This is bullshit. Oh wait, I'm an idiot.
This is the 50s.
That makes sense.
Yes.
That was how I felt when it came out.
That's why it was the Russians instead of the Nazis again, which I kind of like the idea of. I like the idea of just having some random bad guys. Just give me a group of bad guys who are a coalition. That's why I love the Empire. Like, just give me a name that's easy to pronounce that I can say about the bad guy. I don't want some crazy complicated name. What's a Chitauri? I don't know if I'm even saying that right. Chitauri. It's like Thanos, the noose.
Thanos.
No, I know that one, but
the nose.
You got my point. The rest of his, like, people, stuff, names,
words.
The other thing.
Another callback.
Yeah, this episode's chock full of
so many. I just wanted to know what you guys thought of the monkey/jungle scene, where he's swinging through the jungle. Yeah,
I didn't need it.
That's my feeling about it.
Trying to remember it, and it.
I feel like you probably blocked it out of your memory because that's the best bet to do with that scene.
It's been so long since I've seen the movie, so I probably didn't like it.
It was terrible. Okay, let's remind you now that they're in the jungle, and then at one point they just start swinging through the vines like a bunch of monkeys.
Yeah, I probably hated that.
With monkeys alongside them, and I'm just like,
the only movie I ever need anyone swinging through any sort of jungle on vines that is
George of the Jungle.
Is George of the freaking Jungle.
George of the Jungle. I don't even want Tarzan doing it. Only George of the Jungle, and I don't want no freaking remakes.
Tarzan's allowed to because Phil Collins made the soundtrack.
Only when Phil
That's
Collins is singing in the background and it's animated.
Oh, the power to be strong.
If I'm gonna have a real person swinging on vines in a jungle in a movie, it had better be George of the Jungle.
Yes, live action.
As long as he's watching out for that tree.
And still Brandon Fraser.
Yes.
Yes.
Has a talking.
Who
ape.
today I learned. It never occurred to me to even think about who it was, but today I learned.
Oh, you didn't know that before?
Nope.
That's
cool. I haven't seen it in forever.
That's
and
fair.
It never occurred to me to even look.
That's fair too. Those are all fair points.
I can't remember what the movie's about, but I feel like there's another one like that with Tim Allen called like Jungle to Jungle or something like that, where it's another kind of
Jungle to Jungle is 100% a movie because I remember that name.
Yes, I have it. I have it on the VHS shelf.
Okay.
It's him. I can picture the cover. It's him. Craig, Google this. Make sure I'm right. It's him like sitting or like standing on like or on the cover, and he's got like an arrow like through his mouth or something, and he's like,
"Oh, I think I remember that one. I think he's like some.
I feel like he's
hotshot, like some hotshot business dude, and his plane crashes, and he has to like maybe make a journey."
Okay, in my mind, I thought he came from there and like and then he comes from the jungle and becomes like a hotshot.
Maybe, and then he goes back to visit for some reason because his mom died or somebody died.
Maybe. All I know is it's Tim Allen. I know it's Tim Allen.
I can see the movie. I can see the movie in my head. Like I can see the cover of it in my head.
Yes.
Yeah, I can imagine it too. Like, because
did you not Google it? I thought I just.
I'm working on it.
Okay. You didn't just type Google or Jungle to Jungle in the search bar?
First, well, no, I actually looked up Tim Allen, but first I was making sure that George of the Jungle isn't on Netflix.
Oh, okay. That's
priorities.
That's a little asterisk we forgot to add in first. I had to check a George.
So it's not on Netflix.
No, it is not.
I think
that's why I was making sure. It is Jungle to Jungle with Tim Allen.
There we go.
What's the plot?
Heck yes.
Does it say the plot?
Manhattan broker Michael Cromwell, played by Tim Allen, is engaged to fiancée Charlotte, played by Lolita Davidovich, but needs a divorce from his estranged wife Patricia, who's played by Jo Beth Williams.
There we go.
She's in the jungle.
Who's been living in the Amazon with a native tribe for years. Yep.
Yeah, so he has to go.
That's where
what
the jungle comes from.
That's where I was like, he has to go to the
thing. He has a son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and he learns. Yeah. Does he have to bring the son back to the city?
To be taken back to the city to fulfill a quest for his tribe. At first, things don't go so smoothly for the kid from the jungle, but soon the boy and his dad bond. Way to ruin it for me, Google.
In Google's defense, you went looking for it.
That's true. This wasn't a recommended article.
Asked. It
does have. It does hide the plot. Like that part of the plot.
Yeah, you had to hit more, right?
You have to click the more button. I did. I went looking for it.
Yeah.
Martin Short's in that movie though.
Oh, yeah, he was the bad guy. Now. Well, not the bad guy, but like, no, he was the best friend. I can't remember. He was a guy.
He's Martin Short. He's a guy.
He's a guy. Words. I'm having such like flashbacks of parts of that movie now. Like the kid walking along the freeway and his dad, like, and Tim Allen pulling up in like a white convertible to like. They're like, you can't walk along the freeway like this. You're gonna get hit by a car, kid. Like something like that.
See Tim Allen
movies
like
are the
too.
best.
I love Tim Allen. He's great.
We should do an episode in the future where it's nothing but Tim Allen.
I like that idea actually.
Writing it down.
Yep. To be written down. But I think we should probably talk about what we watched this week then.
That's probably a good idea.
Who should start?
Craig, I want to hear what you watched this week because it wasn't
right.
Indiana Jones.
No, it was not Indiana Jones.
Yet you still remembered more than we did.
Wait.
It's,
You chose poorly.
There we go.
Let's just wait for you guys to set me up for that as soon as we went to Craig. I'm just like, I don't care what you say, Craig. I'm going to say you chose poorly.
sometime it's gonna happen. Well, I also chose poorly again because I decided to watch. It seems like Netflix, especially at least in Canada, has been adding a lot of CBC shows.
If you say you watched Chelsea Handler, I am quitting the podcast. I resign.
Would come here. I would ask you to come here and stab me in some sort of honor killing.
I will be.
Yeah, no,
I think honor killings. Take your heart out.
Yeah.
there's exactly take my heart out if I watch Chelsea Handler on purpose.
Yeah, well,
If she shows up in something,
if
she shows up in something, as soon as I see it, goodbye.
What happens if you accidentally fall asleep watching like YouTube videos or something, and it it just continues, and you wake up and you're in the middle of it, like 14 minutes into a Chelsea Handler special.
That would be like the time I woke up in the middle of the video for that song.
For Dancing in the Street.
Yes, Dancing in the Street.
There we go. That's another callback to another episode.
It'll be like that time.
That time, yes.
Except with Chelsea Handler and my eyes being bleached out of my face. But back on track.
It's so harsh on her. I've never even seen her.
She's awful,
No use
Scott.
I don't even know who she is.
Awful. Good. Keep it that way.
Anyways, let's move past her.
I chose poorly.
Yes.
I chose poorly. But what I was saying was that there are these. They keep adding CBC shows to Netflix in Canada.
Yes,
And,
I've been noticing that too.
So they added this show that I had seen before and didn't like, called Baroness von Sketch Show, and I figured, being the far more mature person that I am now when it comes to comedy, I would give it another shot.
Mm-hmm.
The premise is it's 4 middle-aged women doing a sketch show, and I don't get it. And that's probably because I'm not a middle-aged woman.
Or British.
It's not British, though.
Oh, it's not
It's
even
Canadian. I just finished telling you it's CBC.
Oh, I thought you said BBC. My bad.
No, CBC.
Oh, okay.
I generally get the British humor.
Okay, that's where I was confused. I'm like,
It's-
maybe you don't get the British humor so easy to get too. It's so dry.
I know,
like,
it's so.
it's just you have to
it's
say
so
they were
dry.
kidding, and it's like, oh, okay, they were kidding. That's what they were
Yeah.
going for.
Yep. No, Baroness von Sketch Show is
My
just
bad.
4 middle-aged women doing a sketch show, and yeah, I don't find it all that funny. Some of it, I'll laugh. Like it's not like I've sat there stone-faced the entire time, but I don't. Yeah.
So I imagine you watching all TV, Craig. A stone
Everything
face.
is just staring at it. No,
Stone
it's
face.
always laughing.
Ha ha.
Aha!
Haha. See, the way you describe this, I imagine that women find it funny and we
Probably.
wouldn't. Just like women don't find Family Guy or Monty Python funny for the most part, but fucking love
And
that
nobody
shit.
finds Chelsea Handler funny.
Not one person. Not one person.
She's got like, does she have a talk show on Netflix?
She used to. That shit's done.
Okay,
I'm
it's
pretty
done.
sure that shit got
God.
canceled.
I was gonna be like, somebody watches something.
Nope, they don't,
Nope.
and that's why it's canceled.
Just her. She has it on repeat constantly. Like me with Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
That's what she does to her own show.
But speaking of British humor and Monty Python, I watched The Meaning of Life again,
Yes.
which is always entertaining.
Yes, that's always a good choice. You can always go back to that one, I feel.
Always.
Yep, because it's so like chock full with jokes. Like, there's no way you can like know them all in a sense. Like you can
Exactly.
you can remember a great deal of them, but you'll always like
yeah.
remember a new one. Be like, oh yeah, there's that one. Huh.
There's a couple scenes that like I always think it's part of Meaning of Life, but it's actually part of And Now for Something Completely Different.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like-
that's my life problem with all Monty
Yeah.
Python. They all kind of merge together in my mind.
Well, those two, because they're more sketches,
Yeah.
like they merge together. Whereas Quest for the Holy Grail is like its own standalone. But but The Meaning of Life is so good.
Yes.
I still
I
think I've seen
intend to
Life of
watch-
Brian yet. Is that one of them?
Life of Brian
Yeah.
is good. I always
Life of Brian
confuse
has one of the best
song-
songs.
I always confuse this song from Life of Brian with the Universe song from The Meaning of Life.
Yes.
Yeah, because they're...
Where they're walking through the universe?
Yes. Yeah,
I gotta rewatch these.
I confuse the two of them.
I haven't watched these since high school, to be honest. Now that I'm thinking of it.
The Meaning of Life.
The Life of Brian song is always look on the bright side of life, and then they whistle.
Right,
Life's a piece of shit when you look at it. I love
that's gonna be stuck in my head for the rest of the evening.
Life's a laugh and death's a joke. It's true. You'll see it's all a show. Keep them laughing as they go. Remember that the last laugh is on you. There we go. Okay, move on.
That's for you, audience.
So, Scott, for you, so you can find some time to do it, The Meaning of Life and Now for Something Completely Different are both on Netflix.
I thought so. I think their whole catalog's being added this month, if I'm not mistaken.
I hope so.
Oh my goodness. I know. That needs to be another
Monty
episode
Python's
we do
Flying
eventually.
Circus is on Crave TV, too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Their TV show is on Crave TV. Yeah.
You guys, if we want to do Monty Python, I need a month, though, to get through all of them again. I need some time. There's no way I'll be able to get through the whole Flying Circus even in a month, to be honest. But I don't know how long it is.
At least you can do a chunk of it.
Yeah, sure.
We'll figure it out. That's 2 episodes we got to think of without the audience telling us what to do like they usually don't.
It's amazing that we can get along without these people. I watched Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates because obviously.
Because Aubrey Plaza.
Because Aubrey Plaza, obviously.
No, I thought that was implied.
In that movie. Yes. That's why I said because obviously.
Because obviously.
And then I watched the Joel McHale show with Joel McHale.
Of course, as we all did.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Or
yes.
the
Penis
McHale show.
Yes.
McHale.
Thanks to Bill Nye, which I still love these Netflix crossovers he keeps doing because he's, in the same freaking office or lot or whatever you call it, studio, that they're all kicking around, and it's just fun.
That's how I feel about Danny Trejo just popping up and everything.
Yeah.
It's like he's just on the set that day filming like one thing, and he just happens to walk in like, "Hey, you guys need me today?"
You guys need
and they're like, "You guys need Machete?"
It's funny you say that because that relates into something I watched this week.
Okay.
Well, Scott, tell me about what you watched.
Should we transition?
Beauty, look at that accidental segues. I like it. I feel like I just somehow subconsciously know because I mentioned things that Craig had watched and I didn't know about. Now I mentioned Machete, and now you get to talk about something related to Machete.
Yeah, he popped up in The Flash again. So The Flash came back last
Breacher.
night. And he came back as Breacher and just popped up for an episode. And I just thought it was pretty cool. We also had a little pop-up from Jay and Silent Bob were in this episode because... Kevin Smith is the producer.
He directed it,
or
right?
directs it. Yeah. He's done a few Flash and Supergirl episodes before, so this is the first time. Yeah, this is the first time he's popped up in the episode though, and he dragged Jay along with him to show up. So they're in it for like 5 seconds, and they're not technically like they're not in their like normal get up, but. Kevin Smith doesn't say any words, so clearly.
Well, I'm pretty sure Kevin Smith is in the was it the Justice League, the Judas Contract, I believe, the animated movie.
Yeah, he's
Beast Boy does the radio show with him.
Yeah. I actually actually heard an interview that he did where he was talking about that a little bit, that he was going to do that. So yeah. They had asked him to
clearly he's a DC geek, which I appreciate.
Well, he's written
Thanks, Kevin Smith.
He's written a few comics, and his podcast is Fat Man on Batman, because him and another fat guy talk about Batman.
Man, Kevin Smith, why haven't you? I'm fat.
I
like Batman.
He was a lot fatter though.
Yeah,
he wasn't allowed.
Super skinny, narrow face.
Now he's lost a lot since he had a heart attack.
30-something pounds in a month.
Yep. Eating only potatoes.
Yep.
I can't do that.
Buck potatoes.
Without butter.
Potatoes.
Just a lot of potatoes.
And I'm the baby.
And I'm the baby. That's 2. Bash your face into a bolognese.
They were always a ridiculous people.
But yeah, so The Flash is back, so I watched that. I watched all the DC shows as usual. Black Lightning was cool because it had father-daughter team up in it, so I thought that was pretty cool. I'm not sure if you got to that yet, but
I watched. Actually, I think I'm all caught up on Netflix. What was the last episode?
Last one was I watched it like a week ago, so I haven't watched the newest one.
I don't think they've updated it because I watched it like Monday night. I think I watched it. So
Well, the new ones usually come out on Tuesday, so.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I guess I haven't.
They came out the same night as The Flash. So yeah, I usually watch them Wednesdays before we record, but I didn't get to it today. But the last week's episode, they team up to go break into a warehouse, I believe. I watched this a week ago. So.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But I just really like when they like seeing a father-daughter superhero team up or a father-son superhero team up. I like seeing superheroes team up, and they did it in Black Lightning. Yeah, I watched Arrow. Oh, and Gotham I watched as well. They had the Riddler and the Joker with a little tease to Joker gas coming up in probably the next episode.
You had texted me about that.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I like that little reference. And like I know you don't like Gotham, and we've talked about this a few times, but I like that they do these stupid little things. It feels like such a like we don't even care. We're just gonna throw random shit up, and I'm like, yeah, cool, give it to me.
Open your mouth because we're shoving it down your throat.
Exactly. So I was cool with it. I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is leading up to wrapping up their season. I think it's supposed to wrap up just like the weeks before Infinity War, and there's rumors that it might tie in somehow in some little way. But so I'm curious to find out how that goes. They haven't really lined it up yet or it can, but it might have something to do. So we'll find out. And then I watched Legends of Tomorrow, which was the season finale.
Which is done.
Yeah, it's
which
done.
is crazy because they had like the
episodes.
longest hiatus. Yeah.
Yeah, 18 episodes, and now they're done. And it was a good ender. I enjoyed this season finale. I'm disappointed just because Legends is one of my favorite of the DC shows because again, it's out there, it's crazy, it's the most like comic booky and campy to me, and I really like it. So I'm a little disappointed that I got to wait at least like 6-7 months before I get any more. But they did do a cool little.
I was gonna say spoilers. My question is, I saw a video on Instagram where they were talking about how they have to fuse the totems together, use them together, like a la Captain Planet or Voltron.
Yeah.
Do you get to see this energy light being?
Yes.
Do they give it a name?
It's a callback to another episode.
Okay. So I have no idea then.
Well, if you watch this whole season, you'll get it.
Okay. I'll have to wait till it comes out because I only
watched
like 3 episodes.
Yeah, it's fair. It's something that was referred to in the earlier in this season, and it's been like a little callback once or twice, and then one of them thinks of it and it goes that way, and it's pretty funny. Like it should have been a Voltron. They make that joke actually a few times. He's like, I'm thinking of Voltron. I'm thinking of Voltron, and he didn't think of Voltron. But yeah, and then they end the episode with a little Constantine cliffhanger because he's going to be joining the show next season, which I was really happy to hear that news.
I love that guy.
I do too. I've been wanting him to have like a regular appearance on any of the shows, and he's finally getting one on Legends of Tomorrow. They're cleaning up some more demons, so it's going to be a very supernatural type season next season. So I'm not patiently waiting for it to come out.
Well, they completely killed off Rip now, haven't they? Like,
yes and no. Yes and no. It's one of those comic book endings where it's like, yes, he should be dead, but it's also
time remnants or something like that.
Well, it was a time thing, right? So it was like a time.
Yeah, that's true.
But the easiest way to put it, like without spoiling anything, is like it's like almost a time bomb that he exploded. Okay. So it's like, well, maybe he went to a different time. Like you could easily make that argument, or he's dead. Like it's one or the other. You know what I mean? So it's like I could see them maybe playing with it if they want to bring him back. But it felt I didn't hear that they were killing him off. So the fact that I didn't hear about it makes me think that he is gone for good. But we'll just have to wait and see.
I read that I didn't see who it was, but I read that there was 2 characters that they were killing off, who are leaving the show. One of them was a female and one of them was a guy, and I just assumed it was probably Rip who was.
That makes sense because he got killed.
Yeah.
Well, the girl is what's her name? The one who's got to go back to her African.
The totem one.
Yeah,
right?
Vixen or Vixen's mom. Her grandmother, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah. So she's the other one who leaves because her role's kind of just done. She has to go back for her character's continuity to be proper. She has to go back to Zambezi eventually. So
that's unfortunate.
They just
she was gorgeous.
Yeah, she was a good character. I really liked it, but the fact that they had like the love triangle, well, not love triangle, like the relationship with her and Steel, I felt was a little bit like, well, she's supposed to go back anyways. You guys are just doing this for the sake of having one of the couples be having somebody be a couple on this show and it just being that.
Like they kind of used Adam and.
Yes. Exactly.
And Aisha.
Yeah.
Not Aisha.
Whoever. Every time he has had any kind of female, well, anytime he's had any female attention at all, it's because it's like, oh, no one else, we can't work with anybody else. Like those two are fighting right now. We need an episode. That's my problem with the DC shows. They're all a little preteen drama-y sometimes. And I'm like, ugh, I get it, but ugh, come on, guys.
I don't know. I think Heatwave and Sarah Lance would be boss together just because they got so much attitude. Like, I would support that. It would be super awkward because her and
I like her and
Leonard Snart had their kind of awkward thing going for a while.
Well, I like her and Constantine. Oh, I
just want Constantine to be alone.
Well, see, that's kind of why I like it that like they're both kind of loners in that sense, but maybe they'd be like they kind of fall in together. Does that make sense? Like they're not trying to be a relationship. They just kind of it just happens a lot. They just end up being. I feel
like Constantine and Oliver Queen would be better together. Like that would be.
Okay.
They're both so dark and brooding. Like I could see it.
that was not where I was expecting that to go. But yeah, sure. I'm cool with that. I'm open. We're in Canada.
Well, Constantine he's bi. It's factual. I stand by it.
That is canon. I don't know if Oliver Queen is, but
make it happen.
He could be experimental. Who knows? He likes dressing up.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he gets bored of. Why can't I think of her name?
Felicity.
Emily Bett Rickards. Yeah, Felicity. I don't know what I can remember the actress.
Yeah, you remember
her character's name. The opposite this time.
Yeah.
Maybe he got bored of her one night, or she's busy working with her company, so he's just bored. Make it happen.
That's one way to do it.
I like that episode.
I don't know what you want me to say. I'm gonna go on to the next thing. I watched all the Indiana Jones, obviously, but the last thing I watched was the new season of Legion is out, and I'm watching it. I love Legion. It's such a trippy, crazy good show. I was telling you, I think it's on the same level as American Gods as a new show that I'm like super excited about that they didn't make enough episodes of and that I have to wait too long for more of. But yeah, it's finally back, so I'm happy, and I even paid for it. Like that's how happy. Like I wanted it so badly, I went and got a season pass online, so I can have every episode as they came out because I love Legion. It's so good.
Can you just give me some context behind that dance-off video you shared? Because I feel like I didn't appreciate it as much as you because it was literally just people dancing, and there was no continuity or no story around it at all.
Why do you need a continuity for a dance scene? Is my question.
Because I don't know I want to know where the hell it came from.
It's in somebody's head.
Why?
This whole show. So, do you know what Legion's power is?
Yes.
So he's got every power. So like the whole show has just been about the fact that he can't 100% control his power, and he doesn't always know what powers he even has because he has a split personality, and so different personalities have different powers sometimes. So like all these trippy things are happening because he's discovering things about his own memories sometimes, or like one of the other personalities' memories, and you're just going through this. And so that dance scene is a thing he was remembering. It was like half a memory, half a delusion in a sense. And so the whole show has like a combination of those two things where it's mixing like illusion and reality and delusion.
Does it just come to him like where he's sitting there and then all of a sudden he's just thinking about this dance battle?
Kind of, yeah. Almost. Well, he's like, someone asks him like, what's like, so he's in between the first and second season. He's been gone for a year. Just gone for a year out of the story. Like everyone else has gone to live on their lives. He comes back after a year thinking he's been gone for 15 seconds, right? But he's been gone for a year, and he gets these flashes of what's happened over the course of that last year. But he doesn't know what's a delusion because he spent his whole life thinking he was crazy. And he's still like, the first season's about him just coming to terms with the fact that he's not crazy and that he has superpowers and that he actually has the ability to do these things, like the things that he's like always thinking he's imagining, he's actually doing because he has those powers to do, right? And so the second season, it's kind of like now he's kind of accepted that he's not crazy. It's more about putting it together because he's believed for so long that he's crazy that it's hard to know, am I actually having delusion, or did that actually happen? Am I like, do I actually have amnesia for the last year? Or am I just blocking it out? It's so crazy because like it makes you think of all these different questions, and you're just trying to go on this journey with this character. And I just love it. I just really connect with it. It's cool.
I feel like knowing this now, it's a little bit better of a scene, because when you tell me, go watch this dance battle, and then it's nothing but a dance battle, I was like, yeah, but am I supposed to be connected to characters? What's going on? I don't know anything about this.
That's fair. That's fair. It was very out of context. I just thought it was a good dance scene. And because I had mentioned to you that dance scene, I think, the night before. And that's,
I think you texted me and I was like asleep or something.
Yeah, and so that's why I also tagged in you to have, like, add context to the text I had sent.
There we go. No context to what it's about,
No.
but show me what you were talking about.
It was cool. It was cool. That show is hard to add context to, because it's one of those shows you have to sit and watch the whole 45 minutes. Like, you can't do anything while you're watching it. And that's one of the things I really like about it, like in American Gods, is that, like, you can't, like, it's such a good story. You have to be watching because you might miss something. You will miss, like, a little thing, which is just a simple, like, a flash of a different character in the background, so that you know, oh, he's still a little crazy, or is he still crazy? Like, you're asking all these questions because you don't know the answers yet, and you're kind of discovering it with him. And
he doesn't even know the answers yet.
Exactly. Like, nobody does, and that's the awesome. And they just do such a great job of, like, just, like, transitioning and such good visuals. It's amazing. I really enjoy it.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's everything I watched, and I rambled on forever for that. So, Andrew, what did you watch this week?
I watched Indiana Jones, obviously.
Yes.
No.
Yep. Surprise, motherfuckers. So I watched Gods of Egypt.
Right on.
Which was on Netflix, and I meant to watch it when it first came out.
Same here. Still haven't done
it. And then I didn't watch it for years, obviously. And then I was like, you know what? I've heard such bad things about this. I'm going to watch it. So I click on it.
I love watching a movie for that reason.
Usual reactions.
It's like, why is everyone so upset about this? I have to see. Yeah.
So I watched it, and let me tell you, everyone who says this was a garbage movie can go sit in a corner and think about
what they've done.
Think about what you've done. Yeah.
Think about what you've done. Sit in a chair in a corner, think about what you've done.
Think about what you've done, yeah.
Because it's actually a decent movie. It's nothing special, nothing to write home about, but it's a good enough movie to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to rush out and buy it.
You said it was on the same level as Scorpion King, right? The first Scorpion King.
Yeah, where it's good. It's a good action movie, but at the same time, it doesn't better your soul.
Yeah, no, it doesn't add anything to your life or your understanding of life. It's just a fun couple hours or hour and a half.
It's the, like, just seeing cool shit, really.
Yeah.
Like, it's like where they give the gods like a mortal form, but then like they have this alternate form, like when they like morph, I'm going to say like Power Ranger morph, they can turn into like this alternate mode, which is basically like a real life version of whatever they're drawing or
the symbol that represents it
is. Yeah. They turn into that.
That's awesome.
And then and I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Anubis.
No, not Anubis.
It's the main Egyptian god that I know.
No.
Ra.
Gerard Butler plays Set, but actually I was talking about Ra.
Okay.
The sun god, he is the father of all the gods.
Yes.
And like he created them all. But the actor who plays him, I can't remember his name. He plays the the vocal coach or whatever in the King's Speech.
Oh, right, yeah.
But he plays the rival pirate captain in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Yeah,
Barbossa, yeah, he plays him. And once I saw that, I was like, yo, fucking right, this is an awesome movie. Hell yeah. And like it's so over the top, some of the stories lines they've created with some of the things.
Yeah.
But it's cool at the same time.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then getting to see people like get these alternate forms or just kind of grow and better themselves is awesome.
That sounds pretty cool. I'm kind of sold on this. I'm gonna go watch this. Like, how did this marketing not catch me? Like, ancient Egyptian Power Rangers. Why wasn't that in the marketing? That's all I need.
Like literally
sold.
Like literally. Okay, so you got Gerard Butler as Set.
Yeah.
Okay, it's him versus his nephew. What's his name? Who's played by what's his face from Game of Thrones. I don't watch Game of Thrones, so I don't know his name. He's the
Here,
brother
let me
of
just
Cersei.
Google that for you.
He's the brother of Cersei, who they had their incestual bastard children together.
Oh, I don't know that guy's name.
I don't know his name either. He's a good-looking dude, but he plays what's his
Prince
face?
Charming looking mother.
Yeah, the Prince Charming looking son of a bitch. he plays the good guy. He's the hero, and you see him start off as kind of like a kind of self-involved and like, you know, I'm the best. You know, I'm the Lord of the Skies. But then you see him actually grow and like learn shit, and you find that like his, you know, he was in love with this woman, and like it's a decent story. Nothing amazing, but good enough to watch. And if you say it's shit, die.
No,
okay, maybe don't die.
Go sit in the
Sit
corner.
on a chair in the corner and think about what you've done.
That's
exactly.
officially our new tagline.
That's our new tagline.
It's going on a
Go
t-shirt.
sit in a chair in a corner and think about what you've done, because it's a good movie.
All right, cool. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Don't rush out to check it
It's
out.
on
Like,
Netflix.
Don't prioritize
No,
it. But if
there's
you're
other
sitting around one
priorities.
night and you're like,
I need
you
3
know
hours.
what, yeah, you're like, I've caught up with Legion. I'm gonna watch this hour 45-minute movie. Boom, let's do this.
Right on.
It was cool. It was cool to watch it right after Indiana Jones, anyways, because I was like super hyped up.
Yeah, it was. You're in that
like,
zone. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, Indy was great. What's next? Boom, Gods of Egypt.
Gods of Egypt. It's nice.
So I watched that. Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay, the animated DC movie, came out this week.
Yes, you had mentioned that to me.
Came out Tuesday. I got it Monday, thanks to Amazon Prime. God bless. So I watched that, and it's probably one of my favorite animated DC movies. And it's not because of like certain characters. I mean, I like their version of Deadshot. He's badass. Mm-hmm. And I like that he's got like a moral code where, like, you know, he does follow the rules. Like, you know, he looks out for himself, but he's also like, you know, military-esque about it.
Yeah.
And I like that, but they have so many villains tied in. But man, Scott, you in particular, you need to watch this because I need to talk about it to someone. And you're the only person I know who I can talk to about it. No one else is going to understand what the hell I'm talking about.
That's understandable. I shall rent. I will at least rent it this weekend on online
good.
so that I can watch it if not
Good,
order
watch it because I need to talk about the shit that happens in it because I'm so psyched about it. But no, I'll be like, yo, fucking how crazy is it that they did this? And you'll be like, what? But no, everyone else will be like,
huh?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What are you even saying? Like, what's a batarang?
Yeah. And I'll be like,
why are we friends? What?
And I'll be like, yo, you see this thing I'm sitting in? Go sit in the corner.
Think what you've done.
Chair in the corner and think about what you've done.
So, anyways, I watched that, and I'm not going to go into too depth because I'm at this point I'm about to tell you exactly what happens.
Yeah,
in it
yeah. We'll wait. We'll save that for next week.
Okay, so I also watched American Gangster, Denzel Washington.
Right on. I think I've only seen that once.
Really? Oh, it's so good, man.
Like, I remember seeing it in theaters, and then I think I got that one mixed up with another gangster one that came out at the same time, and I never remember which one.
Gangster Squad?
No, I never seen that one because that's the one with Johnny Depp, right? No, it might not have been another gangster movie, but
Sean Penn is in. Oh no, you're thinking of. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the old like 40s gangster, right?
Yeah.
The mobster one. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyways,
Golden Joe and the Suggins gang.
Something didn't connect with
I
me.
was gonna make that reference. I was trying to figure out how to make it smooth.
They shoot Suggins into the wall.
Were bullets free back then?
So I also watched Dane Cook Vicious Circle, and by watched I mean I listened to it while falling asleep.
And then laughed the entire time because Dane Cook the first time is hilarious. Dane Cook the second time is less hilarious, and Dane Cook the third time is probably something you should avoid.
Exactly. Like I it's been years.
He has diminishing returns.
At least 5 years since I listened to it, and his energy is what's funny, I think.
Yeah, that's
and he's very visual about like what he does with like his gestures and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm down. And I did not fall asleep at all while listening to it because I was laughing and watching. But you're right, Craig. Like I don't think I could go back and watch it again.
Not that recently. You have to give it another few years again.
You have to forget it. Like you really have
to. Unlike John Mulaney, where you can watch it over and over and over again. Yeah, it's a one-time shot.
Yeah,
and then
it's not like oh hello,
which I could watch 600 times, which I can.
I'm starting to understand that reference now.
I watched that this week.
You watched that? Okay, there we go. There's another thing.
I watched that this week. It's so funny. Again,
of course.
Again, because it's so good.
It's the only Broadway show that could exceed expectations by having a set.
So the only other thing I watched this week, and you have guys, neither of you have any excuse not to watch it now because I found out it's on Crave. Ray Donovan.
Yeah, I've known it's been on Crave. I've been meaning to get to it.
I just found out it's on Crave. I have them all. I have all the
too.
seasons on DVD.
Yeah.
But I found out it was on Crave, and I was like, yo, Ray? Yes. Boom. Let's watch it. So I restarted again.
Nice.
Love his wife, Abby, mainly because she's Irish. She was in that one episode of Krypton, which I've been meaning to watch the most recent episodes, and I just haven't.
Yeah, you're only a week behind. The new one comes out today.
Yeah.
So you'll be 2 behind.
I'll be 2 behind.
I've
been meaning to, and I just forgot.
There's so many in your defense. Like now, I kind of there was a time I would have argued with comic book saturation. Now I'm kind of understanding what you mean. It's hard to remember all of them. Like I forget
there's
once
so
a week.
friggin' many.
Yeah,
I saw a meme today on Facebook where it shows some scene from the trailer for Infinity War, and then it's like all the MCU shows during Infinity War, and it shows Defenders. It shows all the Marvel TV shows that are out there. And it's the Homer Simpson meme where like he's disappearing into the shrubs.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's that, and they just disappear. And I was like, man, I totally forgot about most of these shows.
Oh yeah, there's a lot. It's like, oh yeah, the Inhumans is technically part of that, which I'm curious about. Freaking, we got no, those are Fox. I can't remember. Anyways, the point is there's so many.
The Runaways.
Yeah, the Runaways is another one. Yeah, like Runaways. There's the Gifted, Legion. There's a lot. Plus regular shows. Like there are regular TV shows I like to keep. Like I had to stop. Like I've stopped keeping up with Supernatural week to week. Because it gets added to Netflix every season, so I'm just like, I'll wait for them to all get put together and I'll binge watch it.
That's how I feel about the DC shows.
That's fine, yeah, like, and I get that. I'm getting close to that point. I am getting close.
Truthfully, I would much rather watch, like, let's say 7 to 10 movies a week. I just want to watch that, get that over with, be able to keep that going, because I know the TV shows are going to come later, and I can just binge watch that
on a weekend.
I can take that whole season and replace 2 or 3 movies, rather than sit down and be like, okay, I'm going to dedicate a whole hour to this.
Yeah.
And then I got to watch the previews where I lose 15 minutes of my life.
Yeah. And then catch up with it every week. Remember which night of the week it is. There's a hiatus, so you get you lose the whole thing. Don't get me started. There's a rant. I've already talked about hiatuses.
It's too much. It's too much.
It's too much. It's a lot.
TV shows, why you got to be so many of them?
Yes.
But at the same time, I think we're done here, guys. That's everything I watched this week.
That's everything. I think that's all we got for today. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Be sure to go follow us on YouTube, everywhere, Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that.
And if you don't comment on any of our stuff, you know what you need to do.
Go sit in a
chair in a corner and think about what you didn't do.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening this week, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.